Hey everybody, my name is Bryan, also known as the Papal Ninja. As you can see, I'm here in my office during my lunch break to talk to you a little bit about the mini Tramp. Now, the reason I'm giving you these pointers is actually because I don't want you to end up like me. Someone who could do this sort of thing to end up like this.
What?
Ugh. And so you don't make a simple mistake like I did. I'm going to first give you some mini Tramp fundamentals, and for that I'm going to recruit the assistance of some amazing Cal Gymnastics alumni. Squirrel! Sorry about the distraction. Second, I'm going to compare different mini Tramp types as well as different mini Tramp situations, and I'm going to give you some considerations depending upon each setup. And then finally, I'm going to leave you off with some mini Tramp drills. Let's get to it. The first thing you need to know about using the mini Tramp is a hurdle. Now, you should be familiar with a hurdle because it's exactly the same thing as skipping, except it's exaggerated a little bit. So, you throw your arms up and you throw your knee up just like you're skipping, and you bring your feet back together before you hit the trampoline. Now, it's important right here to have your arms back in the downward position again before you hit the mini Tramp. Now, if you're not tight right here, squeezing your stomach, squeezing your abs, squeezing your legs, then you're going to buckle and you're not going to be able to absorb all the momentum going into the mini Tramp. Next, you'll see that his arms are up and at least horizontal before the rebound starts throwing him upward. So there's the arm circle, tight body, tight legs, arms up before you start rebounding upward on the mini Tramp. What we're now going to look at is the angle of approach. Now, the angle that I'm referring to is the position of the shoulders compared to the hips during the approach before the bounce. You could see that this is going to be different depending upon whether you're going for distance or height. You could see that there's about a 15-degree angle difference here in his shoulders, and his arms are actually in a different place as well. The angle's about the same, and then he's leaning forward as he approaches in the hurdle. The arms go up higher if he's going for height, and if he's going for distance, they're down a little bit more. You can see by the bottom of the compression, if you compare where his arms are when he's going for height and when he's going for distance, his arms are a lot higher when he's going for height. These small angles are going to make a big difference in the end. Now I know what you're saying. That's really high, and for someone Kyson's height, it's not a surprise that could be easy. But what about for a woman, let's say about 5 foot? That's where Leilani comes in. Yes, with proper technique, even someone who's 5 foot could jump straight-legged over 7 feet. Now let's take a look at her angles as well. Here's the approach. Shoulders further forward when she's going for distance. More upright when she's going for height. See the position of her hands much different when she's going for height and when she's going for distance. Here there's about a 20 to 25 degree difference in her approach. And again, as you can see, even when going for distance, the arms are at least horizontal by the time the upward part of the bounce begins. And success. Thus far, we've only been looking at videos where there's a long run-up. And with this long run-up comes a lot of momentum and a lot of energy that you're putting into the trampoline. Now, what about if you have a short run like this? This technique is actually quite different when it comes to compressing the trampoline in order to get enough bounce. Now, in order to compare, we're going to look at maximizing the bounce with a short run-up versus getting the momentum from jumping off of a block. Now you can see that by jumping off of a block, it takes a lot less effort to generate the necessary power, but it's all the more important to have strong legs and a tight core. Now, technique-wise, let's take a look at what's different. The main thing that's different is the amount of knee bend going onto the trampoline. Now, the reason you need to bend your knees so much when you have a short approach is to use that to compress the trampoline all the way downward because you don't have momentum coming into it, so you can't go into it with straight legs. You can see that the bent knees enables you to transfer all of your energy into the trampoline by pressing it down real hard. Now, look at the difference in both the knee bend and in the shoulder angle when trying to get all your power from just your legs with a short approach versus jumping from just a few feet up. Simply put, when you have a lot of momentum going into it, whether it's from jumping from a block or from hanging or from a swing, you need to come into it with pretty straight and blocked legs. However, from a short run-up, when you don't have that much energy going into it, you need to create that energy by coming into it with bent legs, depending upon the kind of trampoline, you'll have different amounts of bend. We'll get into that later. And pouncing the trampoline bed downward. Now, to complicate matters further, there's also another variable, and that's trampoline style and trampoline bed type. The two styles include the standard mini Tramp, where the springs go all the way around, such as these two, as well as the open-ended Tramp, also known by its name brand, the Euro Tramp. Now, the main difference between these two styles is that the open-ended Tramp is usually a little less forgiving. Therefore, you really need to hit the very middle of the trampoline in order for it to bounce correctly. Sometimes if you hit the front or the back, especially if you have forward momentum going into it, you're going to buckle and you're not going to like the results. Remember this? Yeah, that's me not hitting the middle of the trampoline. And that's the results. I mean, listen to them laughing at me.
I can't believe everyone. Just look at all the faces, just in disbelief. Except for that one.
Squirrel! Oh, sorry. Let's get back to it. Now, there's also different kinds of beds. This is the polypropylene bed, also known as a black bed or a black poly bed. And it's usually only used for recreational purposes or for beginners. And this is known as a string bed. It's woven out of, well, string, and it's actually quite bouncy. Then there's also this woven nylon bed, which is known as a web bed, and it's usually a little slower reacting, but actually quite powerful. Now, instead of giving you a different technique for all these different beds and all these different styles, I'm simply going to suggest that you test the trampolines and figure it out for yourself because that's the best way to do it. What you do is simply jump onto the trampoline. You could either step onto it or you could jump, and you bounce either onto it or backwards. Usually in competitions, you can't jump forward in order to test it, so when you're testing it in practice, you might as well just jump onto it or jump backwards. This leads me to drills. What are some of the drills that you could do to really step up your game on the trampoline? First and foremost, you need to just get on a trampoline and jump. Find different trampolines, get used to the different feel, your body will adjust. Next, we're going to focus on arms. Arms affect your stability, they affect your timing, direction, they affect your power. So it's really important that we practice getting our arms in the right position at the right time. One way to do that is doing this arm pump. Try and stay on the trampoline, jumping up and down, pumping your arms without really jumping much with your calves, just pumping your arms. Start small and build your way up bigger. You might be surprised as to how quickly your body relearns the timing through muscle memory. And there are also plenty of drills that you could do when you don't even have a trampoline. First, you can practice your hurdles. Make sure you have a good knee drive and a good arm swing. Then, there's all sorts of plyometric exercises you could do, such as this bunny hop. You could do these sort of plyometric exercises utilizing your arms or without your arms. Last but not least, core exercises are key. The last thing you want to do is to buckle because of a weak core. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that this video proves of benefit to you. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, or tweet it. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to use the comment area below. And until next time, stay holy, my friends.